Tonight's boxing at the Royal Albert Hall, featuring in particular the 10-round welterweight contest between Britain's Kirkland Laing and the American Buck Smith. Laing, 35 years old, but newly motivated, maybe one more convincing victory away from a world title chance against Simon Brown. And that after a career that now spans 3 decades. 1972 ABA featherweight final, Laing in the striped vest against Vernon Solis. A victory for the 17-year-old, but only just.
And already Solis has discovered that this isn't going to be one way by any means. He's got to work out the problems of the long reach. And young Laing, quick to turn the rearguard action into attack.
Laing in the blue corner.
He would stay an amateur for 3 more years before setting out on a well-proven route, but turning pro with Terry Lawless didn't work out, due chiefly to Lang's own lack of discipline. Under Mickey Duff, he became British welterweight champion, but then in the early 80s, twice came up against the power of Colin Jones.
He waited all that time and finally caught up with him, just when Laing was doing his flashiest stuff. And Lang's going, and it's stopped. And Jones is going for the kill again in the 9th round, just as he did a year ago. Oh, he's got him again! He's got it again!
2 defeats that could end a career, but Laing is a man to take the unexpected route. The following year, he not only took on the mighty Roberto Duran, but went on the attack.
Oh, that's a good right hand. That's the best punch of the contest so far here in round 4. Excellent right hand. Excellent left hook too from Laing. Laing really on top in this round.
Duran, one of the great post-war fighters, but in Detroit, Laing was giving one of the best ever performances by a British boxer in America. Duff was delighted, the judges impressed.
Judge Nate McAlpin scores it, 96 Laing, 94 Duran, the winner by a...
You boxed like a picture. That was fantastic. You boxed like the welterweight champion of the world. You made him look stupider that round than Sugar Ray Leonard did.
The dreadlocks grew, but amazingly, after a victory like that, the career still didn't really take off. Superb natural ability regained him the British title in March '87 against Sylvester Mitty. The defence against Rocky Kelly was equally impressive.
There's always been doubts about Lang's stamina. He had Colin Jones in real trouble in 2 fights and couldn't make it. Last, he's got him with a right again.
At 35 years old, his successful defence against George Collins 2 months ago convinced him that a combination of maturity and newfound stability could at last bring the world title chance. The Kirkland Laing story continues at the Albert Hall tonight.
Kirk has been known to describe himself as the gifted one, as you can see, and he's not wrong. He's been one of the most naturally gifted boxers in Britain for close on 20 years, and yet he has never fought his way to a world title chance. And the reason is simply that he's never been able to face the rigorous demands of consistent, disciplined training. Well, now at 35, the chance of world fame is slipping away. There could be one last glorious attempt, but if he doesn't win tonight and win well, even that opportunity will disappear. Laing has the door ajar. Can he kick it open, or will it slam in his face?
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the main event of the evening. This is an international welterweight contest of 10 rounds, 3 minutes each round. Presenting from Hackney, London, the welterweight champion of Great Britain, Kirkland Laing. From Oklahoma City in the United States, Buck Smith. Give him a hand, please. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, this match was made at 10 stone 9 pounds, and at the weigh-in today, Laing scaled 10 stone 9 pounds, Smith 10 stone 10.5 pounds. Your referee for this contest is Mr. Larry O'Connell, and your timekeeper, Mr. Tom Rice.
Seconds out. Well, here's Laing with the hair tied back in that colourful ponytail. British welterweight champion for the second time around. Holder of the Lonsdale belt, and facing here, Buck Smith from Oklahoma City. A late replacement for Luis Santana from Los Angeles, a world title challenger, who's gone down with the flu. And so Buck Smith, who's lost twice in 34 fights, is standing in for Santana. Well, Laing came into the ring looking sharp and confident. Now this is the sort of clowning that has sometimes dragged Laing down into bad fights. I hope it's not going to do so on this occasion. Got good reflexes. He might need them. Well, he tried to draw Smith on, and when Smith wouldn't come, he took the initiative himself. Can tell with Laing what sort of fight he's going to put up, but he looks sharp and the reflexes look good. It is 20 years since he won the British Schoolboy Championship. Good right hand from Laing. Smith took that full on the chin. Smith, the American, was overweight today at the weigh-in. He had to get 2 pounds off. The American in the yellow trunks. Seems to be wearing a second blue pair underneath the yellow. Quite a lively first round. Smith might be quite worried about the speed of Lang's punching. I don't suppose he expected anything quite like that. So from a rather suspicious beginning when he was clowning with the hands down, or maybe not clowning, but he certainly has given himself a good start here. And it's a fair old record, just 60 feats. And of course he did, as you know, once beat Roberto Duran, the great Duran, and beat him on merit, on points. But sadly, having done that, he never followed up on it, and then had a disastrous knockout in his next fight a year later against Fred Hutchins of the United States. Stablemate, of course, of Lloyd Honeyghan, and he's seen Honeyghan win the world welterweight title that could perhaps have been his years ago.
Seconds out, round 2.
Laing from the left. Only 2 fights last year for Kirkland Laing, and in one of them he was outpointed by Nino La Rocca of Italy for the European title in Italy. But then he had that sensational win against George Collins, the formerly unbeaten George Collins of Camberley. Beat him in 5 rounds in defence of his British title and became the first man to beat Collins as a pro. That was in November. The American has been a pro only since August 1987. It's close now, 15 years since Laing turned pro. Good punches. Smith grinning as he goes backwards. Buck Smith from Oklahoma City, 24 years old, 11 years younger than the British champion. Smith's not got a bad record, actually, but fighters from Oklahoma City normally do take on a lot of very mediocre opposition. Smith shakes his head and says, no, that's not good enough. But a bit more of it might be. O'Connell is the referee. And a little bit of the covering of the ponytail has come off. The speed of Lang's punching is really quite tremendous at times. Far too fast for Smith to cope with. So the man from Oklahoma City, as I say, a pro only since August 1987. He lost his first pro fight and then he went unbeaten in his next 24. One of those 2 defeats came in a 6-round fight in Las Vegas last June, when he faced Robert Wangila of Kenya, the Olympic welterweight gold medalist from Seoul. It was Wangila's 4th pro fight, and Wangila was actually down in the 2nd round, but then went on to win on points. But to put Wangila on the floor does tend to make you think he's got a bit of a punch. So maybe Kirk shouldn't get too careless here. Buck Smith from Oklahoma City.
Second round 3.
And they've restored the covering of the ponytail. Kirkland Laing from Hackney and Nottingham. O'Connell, the referee, just motioning to Smith to punch correctly. Very wild, Smith. And Laing can cope with all that. Actually, if Laing can just keep stabbing the left hand out, he's very, very good at that sort of thing, and that's really what he should be doing. Just keep the man away and keep on jabbing and jabbing until he tires, and he will. living a little dangerously there, but he really is putting together some beautiful punches. And it's not bad for 35. Remarkably fast. Smith keeps shaking his head and grinning. Well, you have to say that Smith is having a go. But I don't know how much longer he continues to take this sort of barrage of punching. And that's 3 rounds in the bag for Kirkland Laing. Well, I'm delighted to have alongside me here Rod Douglas, the former challenger for the British middleweight title. You know Kirk better than I do.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me that he's thrown so many chances away in the past?
Yeah, it's always been his problem where he's been in the gym for a few weeks, had a fight, and then he disappears for a couple of weeks. But that's Kirkland Laing. You know.
But he's looking sharp tonight.
He's looking very well. He's keeping Smith thinking all the time, and he's not wasting no energy, and all the punches that he is throwing are accurate. I think he's doing a very good job.
Has he trained properly for this one?
He's trained tremendously hard. This is probably his last chance to make a go of it, and I think he's doing everything properly at present.
How far do you think he might go? Could he go all the way?
Yes, definitely. He's got the makings of a champion, and I think for this fight, he can look himself in the face.
Second up, round 4.
Kirkland Laing on the right. First won the British title in 1979, over 10 years ago. Smith beckoning him to come on. I think Kirk will need telling. Little battle of wits going on here between these two. He's a wild swinger, Smith, but he could be dangerous. If Laing doesn't get rid of him early on, and if Kirk should run out of steam later, then Smith might turn into a very dangerous opponent. But is he going to get that far? He's covering up quite well, Smith, and he's weathered that extremely well. And says, there you are. Not a mark on me. Well, I think Laing will know by now that this is no easy job. Ooh. He stood for that one. Keeping his eyes fixed on the gloves of Laing. And then he looked up and had a swing at the chin. It's quite clear that Laing really has got to keep working here, because if this man gets confident, he's a menace. shoulder going in there from Laing, but he's on the blind side of the referee, so he's got away with it. Still going in. End of the fourth. Well, Smith was in his own corner when he was under that barrage of punches, and he covered up very well against them. It could have been extremely dangerous for him. There's another look at it. There was a lot coming at him here, but he's got his head down and the gloves well up, and Kirk's having trouble finding a way through. And he came out and spread his arms wide. Why should I say, you didn't get me, did you? Buck Smith, busy fighter. He had 13 fights in '88 and 11 last year. So he keeps busy. And since he had that fight with Robert Wangila in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas last June, he's had 3 wins since then. So he keeps in trim. And still posing some problems for the British champion.
Second down, round 5.
So we're getting close to the halfway stage. This is a scheduled 10-rounder. Smith came in to the weigh-in today and weighed 10 stone 11.5, which was 2.5 pounds over the scheduled weight, and he got 2 pounds off. Well, I've made Laing the winner of all 4 rounds completed so far. It's amazing to think that back in his amateur days, Laing actually had 2 contests with Dave Boy Green. Now, Dave Boy Green's been retired a year or 2 now. Useful left hand, that one from Laing, and that did disturb Smith. He didn't shake his head after that one. Presenting the top of his head all the time to Laing. It's difficult to get at his chin. A bit of elbow there from Laing, and this time Larry O'Connell spots it and tells him about it. Keeps shoving him with the shoulder. He's getting away with that. This is a similar situation to when Smith was trapped in the corner before. He's pretty resilient, the American. And he does a big grin at Laing as the round ends, and that's round number 5 in Kirk's pocket. This opponent, Rod, Buck Smith, I mean, considering he's come in as a substitute, he's not doing a bad job, is he?
He isn't doing a bad job. He's swinging wildly with his punches, and Kirkland Laing is doing a good job where he's picking him off but not wasting no energy. So I should imagine it being Kirk's favour if he slowly applied the pressure as the fight went on, the latter rounds.
He is a wild swinger, the American, but that makes him a little bit dangerous if Kirk gets careless.
If Kirk gets careless, he's been hopping around the ring a few times with his hands fairly low and just glancing them off the edge of his chin, but they're the ones that can really catch you.
He lives dangerously, doesn't he? He likes all that sort of... It's showboat stuff, isn't it? You know, he's acting a bit.
He likes that kind of dangerous living.
Change up, round 6.
So round 6. So I had private thoughts that it might not get beyond the 5th, but I was wrong. I think Laing knows full well that the man is still dangerous, and as Rob Douglas was saying, he's not wasting anything, and he's not going full out either. He's got plenty in reserve. I think if he felt that Smith was a bit weaker than he is, he probably would put on a big attack and keep it going. But he's still trying to draw the strength out of the American, and he hasn't done it yet. Well, I think Buck Smith's gained quite a lot of respect from everybody. You see so many imports who fold up under the first signs of attack, but here's a man who's come to stay there if he can and win if he can. Tough opponent, there's no doubt about that. A lot of people would have wilted before now under this. And he grins and shakes his head again. So that's 6 completed. Mr. Laing reeling them off, on my card anyway. And Buck Smith is still there. So this is his first fight ever outside the United States. In fact, it's only the 3rd time that he's boxed outside his own town of Oklahoma City. They have no border control in Oklahoma, and so the quality of opposition that their fighters meet leaves a lot to be desired. But quite clearly, he's a strong man, and he's a courageous man, and he's proving to be quite a useful opponent for the British welterweight champion. Kirkland Laing was born in Jamaica, like Lloyd Hunnigan, and like Hunnigan came to this country as a boy. Used to live in the Midlands, now in London. 4 rounds to go if it goes all the way. might not beat it. He's up. Has he beat? He has not. He is not being allowed to continue, and the dream of Kirkland Laing has disappeared with one punch at 35. And Buck Smith from Oklahoma City has produced the first astonishing boxing result of 1990. What an amazing turnaround that was. I don't think, well, he hadn't won a round, Smith, and then he produced one tremendous left, and Lang's career suddenly went down the drain. We're going to look at that again. Now then, this was some punch. Laing was absolutely in command until the left.
My lords,
there was a right following it, but
the
it was the
referee
left
stopped the
that did
contest
the damage.
After 1 minute 9 seconds of the 7th round,
69
as
seconds
Laing
of the
was
7th
in
round.
no fit state
That
to
ended.
defend himself.
He beat the count,
Smith
but he was in
is
no
the
fit
winner.
state to defend himself. That's the official decision. And so 24-year-old Buck Smith will go back to America with a good scalp under his belt, back to Oklahoma City.
And a hand for the loser, please. Thank you.
Well, this was to be the night when Laing set off on the road to a world title, and now suddenly it's all finished like that. Well, the right might have done more damage than I thought it did at the time, but it was certainly the left that put him on his way. And this is a sad, sad night, not just for Laing, but also for British boxing. Because, as we've all kept saying, here's a man who really should have had a world title chance years ago. And we all thought he could still do it. But now, suddenly, I think it's been revealed that he won't. I can't see him coming back from that. That was, he's saying, what about a rematch? How about that? Well, that tells you that he isn't finished as far as he's concerned. No thought of retiring in that remark. What about a rematch? Kirk, I hate to say it, but this was just like Colin Jones all over again. You're a mile in front and then get done.
Well, what can you say?
I heard you say at the end, how about a rematch to Smith?
Yeah, I love that. I'd appreciate if you gave me a rematch. You know, I really appreciate that. Just one of them things happened tonight.
Well, the word around here is that there very well could be a rematch, so, and not too far in the distance. How does that suit you?
That would cheer me up. I couldn't sleep well tonight.
Now, how did it happen? I mean, you do like to live dangerously. You like to have the old hands down and use your reflexes to keep out of trouble. But it went wrong, didn't it?
Yeah, and this didn't function tonight. I just had no excuse. I just wasn't buzzing tonight.
Well, I think you were buzzing, but the guy was dangerous. He was always a dangerous opponent.
Yeah, it was, but I know I wasn't myself in there tonight. For what reason, I don't know.
Well, Rod Douglas was saying he'd seen you train, and he thought you were very, very fit, and you got yourself sharp for this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing it now. I'm getting myself in shape. But for some reason, I just wasn't in it tonight.
Well, all may not be lost because we understand that Mickey Duff has made a very lucrative offer to Buck Smith for that rematch. Mickey tells us that he's looking for a date in February or April, so maybe the Kirkland Laing story continues. Well, sharing